I heard the whisper before I saw their shadows, December 22, and that I sat in my recliner exactly where Patricia wanted me, limp, slouched, eyes half closed, the perfect dying old man. She thought the drugs were still in my bloodstream. She thought I was drifting somewhere between sleep and confusion. She had no idea that I'd been dumping her poison coffee for weeks, but she leaned in anyway, confident, careless, greedy. After all, that's how predators behave when they believe their prey has stopped moving. After Christmas, she said softly, her voice sugar-sweet and venomous underneath, we're kicking him out. My hand stayed perfectly still on the armrests. We can't just throw him out, Danny whispered back, that my son. My only child. His voice was thin, hesitant. Not innocent, just afraid of what agreeing out loud might make him. Patricia didn't miss a beat. I already called Shady Oaks, she said. They have a bed ready. He's practically gone anyway. Danny exhaled shakily. I don't know, Pat, look at him, she snapped in a whisper so sharp it cut through the room, drooling. Slumped over. He barely knows where he is. Once he's committed, we take power of attorney. And this house, her eyes swept over the living room with the hunger of someone mentally spending money, $950,000. Free and clear. My heart thudded once, heavy and hot with rage, but my breathing stayed slow, soft, steady. She leaned even closer, her perfume sharp and fake. Like everything else about her, the pills are working perfectly. She said it with pride, that if she only knew how badly she'd miscalculated, that if she only knew what I'd recorded, that if she only knew what the blood tests showed. But to understand how I got here, a man pretending to die while planning revenge, you need to hear what happened before Christmas. You need to hear how betrayal doesn't arrive with a scream, that it arrives with a warm mug of coffee. February. The day after my wife's funeral. Eleanor and I had been married for 42 years. I buried her on a cold Wednesday morning. On Thursday, Patricia arrived with a casserole and a plan. Let me help you, Dad, she said, wiping imaginary tears. You shouldn't be alone. Drink your coffee while it's hot. The first sip tasted normal, but the effects were subtle, creeping, gentle, like the fingers of a fog wrapping around my mind. At first, it felt like grief. Of course I was tired. Of course I was forgetful. Of course I was confused that I had just lost the woman who made the world make sense. Patricia exploited that. By March, every day around 10 a.m., my head would feel heavy, my thoughts muddy. Words floated just out of reach, like they were stuck behind a curtain. By April, my hands trembled. By May, I couldn't track conversations. By June, my son was taking bills out of my hands. Dad, you really shouldn't manage your finances anymore. Pat found unpaid bills. Unpaid bills I had never seen in my life. Patricia hovered behind him, eyes soft, voice softer. We're just trying to help. Help, that word still tastes bitter. The slow destruction of a man. Let me tell you how it happens, in case someone ever tries it with you. First, they isolate you. Dad shouldn't go to poker anymore. He gets overwhelmed. He forgot where he was last week. He gets agitated around visitors. Lies, all of them. Then they control your narrative. I found out Patricia told my neighbor I had early dementia. My brother stopped visiting. My friends stopped calling. Everyone believed the dutiful daughter-in-law caring for her, declining father-in-law. Then they take your autonomy. Dad, sign here. It's for your insurance. Dad, give me the PIN. I'll handle your medication bills. Dad, let me organize your mail. Every signature, every password, every small surrender, a piece of my life slipped out of my hands, and all the while, every morning at 8:30 sharp, she brought me a mug of coffee, the same mug, the same smile, the same poison. The accident that saved me. November 1. I reached for my glasses and knocked the mug over. The coffee spilled across the table and onto the carpet. Patricia froze for half a second. Barely noticeable, but enough for me to wonder why she was so shaken. She made another cup. Quickly, fussing, flustered, pushing it toward me. but I was already late for what I thought was a doctor's appointment that I didn't drink at. 4 hours later, something strange happened. My mind cleared, the fog lifted, the trembling slowed, the confusion evaporated. It was like stepping out of a nightmare. That night, I pretended to drink that I tilted the cup enough for her to see. Then I dumped the coffee in the sink when she turned around. The next day, same thing, the next week, same, and with every clear day, the truth surfaced more sharply. She wasn't caring for me, she was wearing me down, weakening me, destroying me piece by piece. And Danny, my son, he believed her. He thought he was helping me by helping her. That hurt worse than the poison. That my plan began with an $89 device. I drove myself, clear-headed for the first time in months, to Best Buy and bought a digital recorder. I hid it in the living room. In the kitchen. In my study. Patricia talked freely, assuming I was too confused to understand anything. "Oh, come on, Danny, he won't even remember this conversation," she'd say, but the recorder remembered every word. Meanwhile, I requested full toxicology from a private doctor. The results came back with 3 substances no 70-year-old man should ever have in his system. That folder went straight to my lawyer, the lawyer Eleanor trusted, and together, we planned what would happen the week before Christmas. December 22nd, the betrayal, which brings us back to the whisper. The plan will kick him out after Christmas. That sentence was the last thread holding my restraint together, but I stayed limp. I stayed quiet, because morning would bring my revenge. December 23rd, they returned to the SIG and they left early to run errands, which meant buying the holiday decorations they'd place around a house they believed would be theirs. When the door closed, I stood up, fully, steadily. I packed my suitcase, put the blood test folder on the coffee table, placed 3 USB drives beside it, each labeled with dates and times. Then the realtor arrived, the same woman who sold Eleanor and me this house 32 years ago. I signed the papers, transferred ownership, arranged the sale, and placed the sold sign on the lawn myself. By the time Patricia and Danny returned, shopping bags crinkling, laughter forced, they walked into a different world. Patricia froze first, her smile cracked. "Why, what is that sign doing outside?" she asked. I didn't answer. Instead, I handed her the folder, the recordings, the test results. Danny opened one file and turned pale. "Pat, what is this?" His voice was breaking, her eyes darted wildly. "James, Dad, you're confused. This is a misunderstanding." "You're right," I said softly. "For months, I was confused." I gestured toward the sign in the yard. "Not anymore." Danny stumbled back like he'd been punched. "You sold the house," he whispered. "You were going to steal it," I replied. "I simply made sure you couldn't." Patricia lunged forward. "You can't just," I cut her off with one sentence. "You should call a lawyer, Patricia. Preferably a criminal one." Her mouth snapped shut. "And Danny," I added, looking him dead in the eyes, "you let her do this." He swallowed hard but said nothing. I picked up my suitcase, walked past them, opened the front door, and stepped into the cold December air. Patricia screamed something behind me, but the door swung shut before I heard the words. Epilogue. Sometimes revenge is quite. People imagine revenge as shouting, chaos, confrontation, but real revenge, it's silent. It's slow. It's inevitable. It's letting evil people hang themselves with the very rope they hope to use on you. As I walked away from the house Eleanor and I built, I felt no sadness, just freedom, and the cold satisfaction of knowing that when Patricia whispered her plan, I heard everything, and I made sure she'd regret every word.